take a look at shares of Exxon. They were up sharply, of course. In part, we discussed it, guys. You know, oil has been quite strong. But this also because of this continuing thing that I've been focused on, of course. Bloomberg reported this. I can confirm it as well. Jeff Ubben, somebody, of course, some of our viewers may know well, somebody I know well. Last associated with Nikola, you may recall, of course, but also having a very large fund. Remember, he's been the founder of Value Act. He left. He's got Inclusive Capital, a large ESG-focused fund. And they are in talks about at least considering bringing him on the board of directors. That would be quite a move for Exxon, one would have to say. Given Ubben's view of the industry and what needs to be done there to position it properly for the future. We talk about it quite often, Jim. I mean, not that Darren Woods hasn't given voice to many of these things, not that they aren't focused to a certain extent on carbon capture. They're way ahead of everybody in terms of certain technological breakthroughs, although they continue to invest in that. But, you know, there is a lot of tension still about their capital spending plan. As I pointed out, it's not just Engine One and CalSTRS. It's also D.E. Shaw that's been a part of this conversation. They didn't go after nominating anybody for the board, but they certainly are behind this idea of having Mr. Ubben join and making a large investment potentially as well. So that may be contributing to Exxon's move up, although to be fair, Chevron is also up nicely this morning. Exxon, though, has been, Jim, outperforming Chevron for a bit of time now as well, perhaps on the hopes that things are changing.
I'm beginning to get very impressed with the things that Darren Woods is doing. Darren Woods, the CEO. Got a hand that was just okay. Mike Wirth's hand's a little bit better. Mike Wirth's got a lot of growth at Chevron. David, Jeffrey Ubben would come in and he could say, listen, in order to get Exxon right, we have to do this carbon capture. We've got to be able to be the leader. We have to lower our emissions, our methane, more than we even think we do. I don't know, David, you got to... Can people change stripes? David, this is a different Exxon. I'm liking what I hear. They put Ubben on, and suddenly what you have is a company that says, wow, we're going to change. I want change. They're going to give it to you.
Be interesting to see that boardroom with him in there as well. I don't know. We'll see if they can get there. I could imagine reasons they might be somewhat resistant to it. But you're right. Jim, it is a company. Listen, there's so many different things here that are wrapped up in Exxon in terms of the growth, of course, of EV, although even when you look at the projections, it's still not as though 50% of the energy mix, even by 2040, is not going to be gas. There's a lot of different components here, depletion curves and all sorts of other things you need to look at in terms of how they try to figure out how they're going about, Carl, choosing to spend their money right now and preserve their dividend, which, of course, they continue to do. It's quite a significant yield, though far less than it had been when the stock was at its lows not that long ago. Over to you.
Yeah. What a week of spend for Exxon developments.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.